Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So it's been a long time since I've had a hard time coming up with video ideas, and today I sat around for hours and hours and I was like, I don't know what to film. And then boom, it dawned on me. I'm going to show you guys how to get this look using products that I will always repurchase, that I will always recommend, my ride or dies, so to speak. Just basically products that will never ever fail me. I was thinking about that while I was sitting next to my makeup desk over there, and I was just thinking, if I ever had a friend come over and they were like, Allie, recommend to me one product from each category, I kind of picked those products and created a whole look using them. Or if I had to go do my makeup on the road and I had to go somewhere really important for several hours or something like that, these are the products that I know would not fail me. These are the products that I know will hold up all day. I know that I can trust them. So I thought this would be a really fun video for you guys to watch. Hopefully it is, and it definitely was really fun for me to film. So before we get into the tutorial, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you're already subscribed, just hit the notification bell, and then you'll be able to be notified each time I upload. So if you guys want to see how I got this look, and if you guys want to see what products I absolutely love and will always recommend and will always repurchase, then just keep watching. Alright, so to save time, I did my brows off camera as usual, and I used an old favorite of mine. I've been trying a lot of new different brow products recently, but the one that I have on is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. I have mine in the shade medium brown. And I forgot how much I love how this looks. This is a product that does not come off my brows, and I don't really have that full of brows, so it's really important for me to have a product that will last all day, that I can really sculpt out my brows. So this is my ride or die go-to never fail me brow product for filling in. I love it. And then I went in with an old favorite to carve out underneath and on top. This is the Anastasia Pro Pencil. It's actually an eyeshadow primer, but I love to use it to carve out my brows. And this is in the shade Base 1. I absolutely love it, and so that is all that I have done. I forgot how much I love that brow combination. I really, really do. So let's hydrate the face. My favorite way to prep the skin is to use this. It's almost gone. You guys can see how much I love it. This is the Embryolisse Late Cream Concentrate Moisturizer. No matter what skin type you have, I feel like this would really work for you, especially if you have dry skin. It does such a good job at moisturizing dry patches and things like that. It also says that it can be like a mask, a moisturizing mask. I don't really know about that, but it's also designed to be a primer, which is really great. So it's like a hydrating lotion and primer in one, essentially. But it is a little bit heavier than, say, the Smashbox Primerizer is. It's more of a lotion consistency, where the Primerizer from Smashbox is a lot more watery. I love this though, especially around my nose, because that's where I tend to get really dry. But this perfectly preps your skin for makeup application. I love the way foundation wears on it. It's just beautiful. I just got that in my hair. Oh, and it just feels like a dream. I love it. It feels, you can feel the hydration going into your skin. It's my favorite. While we let the lotion sink in, I'm going to prime the eyes using Tarte Shape Tape. This does not fail me either. I love to use it as an eyeshadow primer and obviously as concealer as well. The tiniest bit goes a really, really long way, so I'm just going to put about that much on my lid. And then I'm going to take my favorite Aesthetica beauty sponge and just dab this out all over the eyelid to cancel out veins and redness, and then also to create a really nice base for those eyeshadows. I'm going to go ahead and set that with my NYX Hd Finishing Powder, another one of my ride or die products. I love this for around the eye area especially, but also all over my face, just depends. But I'm just going to set that concealer with this. Alrighty, we are ready to go. So for eyeshadow, this was a no-brainer for me. If there's a palette that just never, ever fails me, it is this one. I'm so excited to be using this on camera again. It's been so long. The Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. Oh, I don't even know what look to create with this. It's been so long, seriously, since I've used this gorgeous palette. I can't figure out if I want to go more colorful or more like fall warm colors. I don't know. I'm gonna mix Golden Ochre and Warm Taupe. And this is what I'm going to use for my crease / transition shade right now. I'm going to kind of start it in the crease and just buff it back and forth. And then when there's a little bit of product left on the brush, I just kind of take what's left and buff it slightly above the crease. And that'll just start to create that perfect transition shade. And as always, I love to kind of drag it out toward the end of the brow there so that all the other shadows can blend seamlessly in that direction too. And then you guys know recently I like to pull a little bit of the transition shade into the inner corner here as well a little bit. I don't know, I just kind of like how it looks. Now I'm just going to take Warm Taupe, and I'm actually going to take the brush that came with the palette. And with this, I'm just going to start to really work that in the crease to deepen that up a little bit. So I'm going to be careful not to bring it up too high. I'm going to, if anything, just blend it like a little bit lower so that we have a little more of definition in the crease. My mirror in this palette is so dirty. I might need to get a different one because I like cannot see what's going on. Oh, that mirror is not much better, but we'll have to do. Let's dip into a little bit of raw sienna. I'm kind of feeling that color right now. It's such a beautiful, beautiful color. And I think this is kind of what I want my lid shade to be. So I'm just going to start by brushing it back and forth towards the lash line and then moving it up towards the crease, but just kind of blending it all over the eyelid to kind of create that all over color. We'll build up different colors on top of it, but this is a really nice like base color. One thing I love about this palette is I feel like there's so many looks you can do and all the colors somehow work together. So if you're kind of like intimidated by eyeshadow palettes and you just feel like sometimes you might coordinate the wrong colors or whatever, I feel like that really can't happen with the Modern Renaissance palette. I just feel like they all go together no matter what combo I do, like they all work. So I'm just going to take my crease brush and run it through the crease to make sure all these colors are blending together nicely. I'm going to take a little bit of Cypress Umber, and I'm actually going to mix a little bit of this orange Realgar shade in it, but I'm just going to work this on the outer third of the top lid, kind of in that outer V area, and then working it slightly into the crease, just whatever's left on the brush. When I apply darker colors, I always like start towards the lash line and then I move up when the brush has a little less product on it. That way you don't have like too much up top, like so most of the darkness stays towards the lash line. I'm gonna go into just Realgar, that orange shade, and just kind of like brush this on top, a little bit closer toward the middle. I just like that color. I wanna add a little more of that orange. And then taking my blending brush again and running it through the crease just to make sure everything gets nice and blended. I'm going to take my finger and dip into Primavera, this gorgeous golden shade. And with this, I'm just going to start to press that on the inner third of the eyelid and kind of work it towards the middle, just to add that little pop of shimmer. And then I go back and blend the crease so that there's no shimmer really in the crease. Well, that turned out unique so far. So I'm just going to take a makeup wipe and clean the under eye area just to make sure if we did have any fallout that it's nice and cleaned up. So now let's go into foundation. The foundation that I know I can always trust is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation. This stays the same for hours on your skin no matter what's going on, no matter how hot it is, no matter how cold it is, no matter what. Like it's always going to wear the way I know it's going to. Like it's never let me down. So I just poured a little bit on the back of my hand. My shade is 2N1 Desert Beige. I'm just going to distribute this all over the face with a foundation brush. And it's very full coverage, by the way. So if you don't love full coverage foundations, I would maybe not recommend this, but if you are a full coverage foundation kind of girl and you like a more matte finish, this isn't super matte either, but I would recommend it to you. If you do like a more matte full coverage foundation and you haven't tried this, I would recommend it. So then I'm just pressing it into the skin with my Aesthetica beauty sponge. So while the foundation starts to set, I'm going to go ahead and conceal with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. A little bit of this goes a long way, like I said before. So for me, to make it work like I like to, I have to really be careful under the eyes because if I put too much under there, it does tend to crease a little bit. So I'm just going to put this down the center of my face as well as under the eyes. And I'm going to blend this out with my little Aesthetica sponge. I just love how those two products make my skin look. I'm going to go ahead and set the under eyes and down the center of the face with the NYX HD Banana Finishing Powder. I used to use a damp sponge with this, but because Tarte Shape Tape does dry down a little bit powdery, I find that just dusting a nice light layer of powder over top does just the job. So I'm just going to lightly dust this under the eye area. And I love how this brightens the under eye. I'm just going to go ahead and lightly dust that down the center of the face, basically where we put concealer. And then for the rest of the face, I'm going to use the Cover FX setting powder. I love this for all over the face. And I'm just going to press this in with a little brush. So let's finish up the eyes. I'm going to just do kind of the same thing that I did in the same order. I'm going to go ahead and mix Golden Ochre with Warm Taupe and run this on the lower lash line. And I like to make sure that it connects to the eyeshadows that are going on the top. So everything just like flows together more seamlessly from lower lash line to like this area here. Then I'm going to take raw Sienna and work that closer to the lash line across the entire lower lash line. Then I'm going to dip into Cypress Umber and Real Gar and just work that on the outer third. So I'm basically just mimicking exactly what I did on the top. And then I'm going to take a little extra Real Gar and pop that right about there. And then I'm going to take that same brush, I dusted it off a little bit, and go into Primavera, the golden shade, and run this from the inner third towards about halfway along the lower lash line. I'm going to take a little clean brush with some translucent powder on it and just buff this along the edges of the lower lash line just so that that blends nicely. For mascara, I was really thinking hard about this one. I have so many current favorites, but I was thinking back on like the past few years and what I've always used. And it's the L'Oreal Voluminous Million Lashes Carbon Black Mascara. It's been ages since I've used this in a tutorial, and actually a long time since I've used it in real life, because when I moved I threw away my old one. It was just too old and I never repurchased. So my husband ran to the store and got this for me before I filmed. So it's a brand new bottle. We'll see how well it performs. I don't really remember how well it performs, but I know it is and has been a favorite of mine. So I'm gonna pop this on the top and bottom lashes. Let's see how it goes. Oh no, I got it all over the lower lash line. No! I'm just gonna wait for it to dry and then I'll clean it right up. Well, I think I remember why I loved this so much. It really does work like a dream. I love how that looks. Let's see if this has dried yet under here. Man, talk about separated and lengthened lashes. No wonder I used this for like 5 years. It's really great. So let's bronze up the face. Of course. Of course, of course, of course. My Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Always and forever. I'm just gonna use this around the perimeters of my face. Along the jawline. Down the neck as well. I'm gonna take a little bit on an eyeshadow brush. This is just a Sigma tapered blending brush. I'm gonna take it from up here and just run it down the sides of my nose and then underneath as well. And then a little bit right there. I'm gonna also take some and run it through the crease. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of the Cover FX translucent powder on that brush that we used earlier and just run it over top of the bronzer to really help blend it into the skin. What is my hair doing back there? Oh dear. So blush was also a no-brainer for me. I'm going to take my Balm Beach blush by The Balm Cosmetics. It's the perfect nude for every day. And I'm going to focus this kind of towards the back of the cheeks and then bring what's left on the brush towards the front, because it is kind of more of like a beigey blush. So sometimes if I bring it too close here, it starts to look muddy, but it just adds that gorgeous like sun-kissed warmth. Oh, this is my favorite. And I'm going to take a little bit of the blush and run that through the crease as well. So for highlighter, I have a couple. I'm going to start with my Benefit What's Up highlighter. This is a cream highlighter, and this is one of the highlighters that does work on top of powder products. I like to take a little sponge and put it directly on the product and then just lightly bounce it on my cheekbones. I find that this really, really works, and it doesn't really like take up the powder underneath like a lot of other cream products do. It's also a cream to powder formula, so it will dry down a little more powdery. I'm just kind of putting this on the center of the face as well. You could leave it at this if you'd like, but I do have another favorite highlighter, the Mary Luminizer highlighter from The Balm. I'm just gonna make that cream highlighter pop even more by putting this on top. Oh my gosh, I love this. It's so beautiful. Then I'm just gonna take that same translucent powder brush and just blend the blush and the highlighter and the bronzer all together. I'm going to set the face really quick with the Skindinavia Bridal Setting Spray. I love this. It doesn't make my skin feel too tight, but it really sets the makeup and makes it last all day. So I'm just going to spray a little bit of this all over. So to set my brows, I'm going to use the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter Gel. If you do not want your brows to budge, this is the product for you. It seriously locks them in place for hours and hours and hours. So I'm just going to set the brows with this. Before I forget, I also wanted to highlight the inner corner with the Mary Luminizer highlighter. It's a gorgeous inner corner highlight. So let me do that before I forget completely. And also I'm going to pop a little bit right here on the brow bone. My nose highlight got a little cray-cray. For lips, you guys probably could have guessed this. It's not necessarily about color, it's more about formula, but the Dose of Colors liquid lipsticks, they never fail me either. I'm gonna go ahead and put on the shade Truffle. This is one of my favorite shades. And it's just that perfect, like, pinky nude color. So there you guys have it. That is my full face of products that never let me down, products that I will always, always repurchase. Looking at them on my face right now, I'm so happy with how it looks. It's been so long since I've worn all of these on my face all at once. And I just think they look so nice. They last for hours. I really don't have to worry about these and how they perform or worry about them caking up or coming off. Like, these are all fabulous products for me. And in my opinion, I love them. So I hope you guys liked this video. Let me know if you would like to see more of these types of videos here on my channel throughout the next few months or so. I could maybe do a drugstore version of this kind of video where I just kind of share with you guys and do a full face of products that I will always repurchase and will always recommend to other people. Honestly, I had so much fun making this video, and it's so fun to have been able to use all these amazing products that I seriously love so much. So let me know if you like this video by giving it a thumbs up. And yeah, I think that's everything. I will see you all in my next video. Make sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out. And that's everything. Love you guys. Bye!